Hello and welcome to week 7 in research methods. And let's first talk about the chapter that we're doing this week, and then we'll talk a little bit about your projects. We are in chapter 9, where we're going to be taking a look at the particular method of constructing a survey. Actually, a part of many individuals in this class are going to be doing a survey, so this is particularly relevant to you in terms of constructing and delivering a survey. It's probably one of the most popular ways in which psychologists collect data. So it's a very, very core skill in the development of questions, in the development of how do we order those questions. There's actually, when I was an undergraduate, I took a whole course. It was a sociology class, and the whole course was on surveys and the history of surveys, how to write questions, and it's an art form, to make sure that you're not leading individuals, so that you're writing the questions to the reading level of your individual, so that just how do you get the best data. It's also one of the most inaccurate ways in which we gather information, because people don't necessarily feel compelled to tell the truth. In fact, it's been noticed over the years that individuals will often answer surveys in ways that they wish they were like, or the ways in which they would like to appear. Even though it's anonymous, they may respond to that social pressure to actually answer questions in a socially desirable way. So we often, in the creation of surveys, will not only put questions in there to make sure that individuals are consistent in what they are actually talking about and revealing through the survey, but we also correlate the results of those surveys with other instruments and other measures in order to validate the actual questions that are in there. It's an entire process. I believe most of you will be constructing questions on your surveys and using existing surveys that have already been validated and determined to be reliable, building on the work of others. So in this particular chapter, we have a discussion, quiz, and assignment. The discussion is to discuss the validity and reliability of surveys, and it's questionable. And to put it out there, maybe even look at your own study and the questions that you'll be asking on your study, and determine where do you think are the weak points, maybe where are the strengths, where do you think there might be false data, and where there might not be. Sharing that with each other. In chapter 9, the quiz, very similar advantages and disadvantages of quizzes. Lots of advantages, and that's why it's the most popular method. And finally, for the assignment, again, I'm asking you to go into an online source for studies that are ongoing, both student and professional studies that are ongoing, and participate in a study that contains a survey. So you're participating in the actual study, but you are also taking note of the questions and how they are phrased, and then provide some analysis within your document, following the guidelines in the course book, about were the questions valid? Do you think that they were measuring what they intended to measure? Is there anything curious that you found out about the experience? Again, understanding this from the point of view of a person who's taking the survey is always a very valuable perspective to have. Now, moving on to our projects. Now, the intent of the course and the sequence of expectations in the project was that each week we would move on to the next level in getting those papers ready for you to actually implement your study. Now, it didn't go quite that way in the face-to-face version, and it certainly isn't going quite that way in this class, and that is okay. I am currently still in the process of learning how to teach this class and how to both face-to-face and online. So what I did last week in my face-to-face class is we took the whole class and I met with each person one-on-one, and we got everybody essentially all the way to the hypothesis place. Next, we're going to be, this week, we're going to be talking about sampling. And at that point, the methodology and whatnot is solid, and those people are going to be ready to implement their studies. I would like to offer the same to this class. I would like to say that I would like you to reach out to me to set up a one-on-one meeting. I'm going to grade whatever it is that you have submitted, because I know some people have gone ahead and they've submitted revisions for the first one. What I want you to do is hold right there. I'm going to go through those, and then I want us to set up meetings one-on-one this week and into next week, whatever we can do. And you and I are going to sit down there, share screens, and we're going to get your paper to the point where you can implement this study. I think that one-on-one work that I was doing with them was very helpful. It helped clarify some of my expectations, which I have not been very clear about. So I'm going to own that, and I'm going to meet with you to help you get your paper where it needs to be so you can be very close to implementing your study and thus have an enjoyable experience with this class. So I'm taking responsibility for that vagueness, offering up the opportunity for us to meet one-on-one in a Zoom meeting, or we could do it face-to-face if you happen to be on campus on days that work for me, and we will do that. So please hold your papers right where they are. Go ahead in Chapter 9, of course, that class continues. Reach out to me, send me an email giving me, let's make it 3 to 4 times during the week. Now, times that I'm not available on Wednesdays. That's a big day for me teaching. Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, I'm at Colby. Aside from that, pretty wide open. I have no far away gigs coming up for the next couple weeks, so that is not a barrier in terms of me being away over the weekend. So if that's what works for you, I'm willing to do that. So reach out to me with 3 or 4 times that work within that kind of scenario. I am able and willing to work after hours. If you're working all day and you're in the evening is what works best, hey, that's what we'll do. And so please reach out to me. Have a great week. I want you to still feel confident in the work that you're doing. What I'm seeing is very good. And it's sort of like what happened in the face-to-face classes. People had been mulling about these things, and once they got it down on paper, they realized just how close they were to finishing this paper. Getting by that first section and getting by the vagueness of my instructions really, really is a key to having that paper work for you. So reach out, have a great week, and I look forward to hearing from you and working on those papers one-on-one this week. Take care.